New Flash Tokyo. Following Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's announcement last week, Japan provided details of its full-scale tourism reopening on Monday. This week, Kentaro Iwamoto and Sayumi Take of Nikkei Weekly, along with writers from the newspaper's staff, dug into the specifics of the reopening. A total of 68 countries and regions will again be able to enter the country visa-free. This was the case before the COVID-19 pandemic. However, some coronavirus-related hurdles, such as proof of vaccination, will still need to be cleared. This video has some important background information on Japan's recent reopening. Routine tourist entry procedures will resume on October 11. Package tour registration will no longer be necessary. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that visas are no longer required for 68 countries and the region's citizens. This reinstates the pre-COVID-19 visa-free arrangements for tourist stays. In general, a visit of fewer than 90 days is considered short. However, visitors from certain countries, like Indonesia and Thailand, are limited to stays of only 15 days. A visitor's 3 doses of coronavirus vaccination are required for entry. Another option is to show a negative result from a test. According to Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno, who spoke to reporters on Monday, we will require submission of either a certificate of the 3rd dose of a vaccine on the World Health Organization's emergency use list or a negative test certificate from a test taken within 72 hours before departure abroad. Japan has not recognized some vaccines on the WHO's emergency list, including one made by Sinovac in China. However, the Ministry of Health has promised to provide details on the available vaccines and when. The final COVID-19 testing and self-quarantine protocols in Japan will also be discarded on reopening day. Visitors from high-risk areas are tested and, if necessary, quarantined. Since peaking at more than 260,000 in late August, the number of new infections per day across the country has been steadily decreasing. From September 18 to 25, there were 52,000 new cases each day, with an equivalent number of deaths. The government has pledged time and time again to maintain a balance between reducing infection rates and encouraging increased economic and social activity. As a result, businesses such as restaurants, entertainment venues, and events have slowly resumed normal operations since late March. Yet, people are still urged to practice safe hygiene to prevent spreading infections. Unfortunately, face mask use is still mandatory at many venues and tourist destinations. The Ministry of Health suggests anyone concerned they may have contracted COVID-19 contact their regional coronavirus consultation center. Furthermore, as an added precaution, the Japan National Tourism Organization has set up a 24/7 helpline for foreigners with questions about C. esophageal virus infection and disease. According to Prime Minister Kishida, Japan will soon relax its border restrictions to meet those of the other group of 7 countries. Still, the country was only partially reopened in June and escorted package tours were required. However, as Japan surpassed all other countries in the number of new infections in July, the strict border controls seem to lose much of their logic. The travel sector's calls for a reopening increased as it sought to capitalize on rising international interest in vacationing. Weakness in the yen, which has been around 24-year lows recently, also appears to be a factor. However, the government and the tourism industry hope this will result in increased visitor spending. We can't rule out the influence of time of year. So companies are gearing up to cash in on the fall foliage and the winter snow, 2 of the most popular seasonal tourist activities. Some alterations may be noticeable to returning guests. Businesses have responded to the pandemic by increasing their acceptance of cashless payment methods like contactless credit cards and mobile payment services. As a result, the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry estimate that by 2021, cashless transactions will have reached 32.5% of the total, up from 26.8% in 2019. However, visitors should be aware that some establishments still require cash payments only. The epidemic has also contributed to expanding the food delivery app market. In Japan, Uber Eats competes with a local operator called Demae-can, and the two are the 2 most popular options for food delivery. In addition, many well-known eateries are listed on each app for the convenience of diners. Private ride-hailing services, such as Uber and Grab, which operate legally in other countries, are still not permitted. However, the Uber app can be used in large cities to hail standard taxis. Moreover, beginning in July 2020, all stores across the country will be required to implement a system of fees for using disposable shopping bags. Travel providers, lodging establishments, and shops look forward to repeat customers. On August 30th, All Nippon Airways announced that beginning in October, it will increase service on several routes in North America and Asia. This includes flights connecting Haneda Airport in Tokyo to San Francisco and Singapore. The airline claims the adjustments will restore North American routes to 90% of their level before COVID. The international flight schedule of Japan Airlines, which includes services to Jakarta and Delhi, was expanded on September 8. In addition, budget airline Zip Air Tokyo, a subsidiary of JAL, will launch a service between Narita and San Jose, California, near San Francisco, in December. Meanwhile, this month saw the opening of a new APA Group hotel in the bustling tourist area of Asakusa, Tokyo. The luxury hotel chain Hoshino Resorts will debut a brand new property in Osaka Prefecture this coming December and a second property in the city's immediate vicinity of Kansai International Airport in 2023. We can expect a sizable effect if the number of tourists ever recovers to pre-COVID levels. The total amount of money tourists brought into Japan this year was 4.8 trillion yen, or about $33 billion at the current exchange rate. That's more than the 4 trillion yen earned by Japan's most lucrative exports, like electronics. However, it's possible that tourist numbers won't increase again right away. This makes it the perfect time to visit Japan. The loss of Chinese visitors, who made up 30% of Japan's total in 2018, will significantly impact the country's tourism industry in 2020 and beyond. In addition, the prolonged zero-COVID policy prevents most Chinese citizens from traveling abroad. It's pretty tough to foresee, he said. However, he predicted that next year's demand would be about 1.6 trillion yen, or about 0.3% of nominal GDP, if inbound tourists return to pre-pandemic levels in 3 years. We at Viajo are among the many who have been waiting for Japan to reopen with bated breath. So let's get ready to travel. Have a wonderful week from all of us. Have a nice day until we meet again.